Hi everybody. It's a different camera setup because I'm an idiot and I put the wrong lens on there.
Whoa, it's bright out.
It is bright out because
Gross.
It's a weekend and we're here during the day.
Ick.
That's gross.
Yeah, I'm still annoyed at why we're here during the day because I got scammed. I was telling these two where there was an event and the people who run it before were always going like, oh, we don't have enough photos of the events. We don't have enough photos of the events. So I offered to help by shooting at the event and taking pictures. And then the second that I arrived, all the leaders of the event were like, oh, half of them, sorry, not all, are like, oh, I don't want my picture taken.
Yeah, JD Vance and his crew was like, hey, you can't do that.
Dude, I'm just so mad because then I moved an entire podcast for this.
Yeah.
I wanted to test this out earlier, moved a podcast for it, and then it also just ruined some other things in my week, and I'm like, ugh, annoying. Anyways, here
So
I am.
you got scammed, but it worked out pretty good for me. So
It worked out good. What did you do?
yeah, I did Mythic Keystones
In
with my group
Oh, on Thursday?
on Thursday night.
Oh,
Yes.
I want to do Mythic Keystone.
Were you free on Thursday?
No.
No.
But I want to do Mythic Keystone. Well, I could have been free. I just didn't. Damn.
Sorry.
So you didn't
It's
invite
okay.
your friend.
It's
Well,
okay.
it was with the group that I.
Well, yeah, so
usually
I'm not a
with.
member of Milktown, so.
I
Rips.
thought you are a member of Milktown.
No.
No.
Their Milktown
Somebody.
is stock full of, I guess, 5 members already, so.
It's
Wait.
like 6.
Okay, explain to me the politics
Might be
of
7.
Milktown versus the other guild.
Oh, so Milktown is just a subset of people in the guild.
You have a splinter Discord?
Yeah, it's a clique. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It started so it started because sometimes when you have a group of 5 people in a guild of somewhere around 30 people, right?
Mhm.
And you're in a Discord channel, right?
Oh.
People will just kind of bling, they pop in, right? And then they're all like, "What are you guys doing in here? How's that key going? Oh, wow, you're doing a 10? That's crazy. I'd never done one of those before." And then they just kind of keep going. And then somebody at some point has to be like, "Hey, can you fucking shut up for a little bit? Because we're going to die if you keep talking. We're distracted."
No. This is the equivalent of when you
There's-
have a group chat with your friends, and then you have another group of friends, and you make a separate group chat that excludes 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, except this time it's you're in a group chat with 10 people, and
Yeah.
then you exclude the majority of them.
It's crazy.
Okay.
But also, a easy solution to this, right, is to make a call size maximum. I'm
Well,
surprised this already hasn't been done.
Oh,
So-
you mean
so we
in Discord.
Yeah, you can do
So
that.
we discussed this, right? But one of the drawbacks is oftentimes there are 1 or 2 people that are not in that run that would like to watch the run,
Mm.
right? So streaming on Discord is incredibly easy to do, right?
Yeah.
So having the option to have other people in your subset watch is useful, right?
Sure, but I feel like this could also be fixed by do you usually have a mod in your call when you're doing this?
A mod?
Like a person that's a mod in the Discord?
Yes.
You can just drag them in. You can go past the max if they want to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
Yeah,
I should
the
bring
mod-
that up to them.
the mod should be able to just drag people in. But also, I think it's pretty useful in terms of, this is something that we did in my old guild, where the raid call, the raid channel would just have a supposed maximum of 30, but
Mhm.
it's not that actually 30 people would be in the call. It's so that off rip you can instantly tell how many people are in the call.
Oh,
Yeah, that
okay.
works. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
very
that's
helpful
useful.
rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
just looking at
Yeah.
the whole rows. So
Okay.
it'll say 23 out of 30 or something.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
did
that's
this
something
with my
that I
League
can.
of Legends Discord too, where
Yeah.
when I play, it's 5s.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
something I
sometimes
can
6.
bring up to them. It has always felt a little odd to have a separate, an entirely separate Discord for this. It feels a little elitist in a way. It feels a little cliquey, but I don't know. It also is one of those things where that group of 6 to 7 people will play the entire patch, right?
Mhm.
Whereas the majority of the people of the guild usually drop out
No,
after a
I'm-
couple.
No, yeah.
I'm-
I think
I'm
we're
also
just,
just
right, so
we're just fucking with
trolling
you.
you.
I see.
I
But
don't-
also, I'm fucking with you, but also I would very much like to do keys. Fuck.
Yeah, why don't
True.
you let Will into Milktown?
Well,
Well,
they're
Wilketown.
Oh god.
I'm so sorry. It was just there.
No.
I couldn't help myself.
Maybe I shouldn't do keys.
Yeah, no, I mean the people in Milktown like running with you. So
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just always like a full group though, so it's kind of hard to line shit up.
yeah, that's the tough part. So.
But I don't know
I was
the
kind
timing of these things though. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
time like we usually run Mondays, Thursdays. So that's usually the times.
I see.
And it's usually around the normal raid time. Like these Thursdays, like if we keep doing this like right after work, it can probably work out, and we'll just do a little later or something like that. So
I see.
either that or we go back to having a later shoot.
I see.
But it's probably easier just to see if they'll go later.
Okay.
So Thursdays is usually when you do your keys.
Yeah, Monday, Thursday. Yeah,
Monday, Thursday.
Thursday's usually the more productive of the days for it, because people on Monday are usually wiped out. So
Yeah, I did you see the picture of all Warhammer?
Yeah. So
I was
what was
amazed.
what was
Never
the-
noticed that.
all Warhammer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
What is it? I usually go into like the left side of the store. Off rip, we're talking about Paper Heroes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's this game store that's on like what is it? Like it's on Olympic.
There's two racks like this.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but that's on like the. I guess like I've never actually sat at the player tables. And I
No,
think
this is like that's the door. This is the main entrance.
Oh, okay.
The cashier's right behind me.
I guess my eyes just kind of glaze over when it's things I don't
Yeah.
understand.
If it's not Magic the Gathering, Will's like, it ain't me. It
Yeah.
ain't me.
This is
so
true.
this wall is all Warhammer, and then
Uh-huh.
behind also is all Warhammer, and then on the other side of the wall it's all D&D figures.
Yeah,
God
I saw the
damn.
D&D figures. So I did know that they had some figures in there, but I didn't realize it was mostly Warhammer stuff.
Yeah,
so-
when I asked him like what's your guys' like sale thing, I asked once and he's like, oh, it's like 50% Magic the Gathering, 40% Warhammer, and then 10% D&D.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, people, but like usually Warhammer people don't like go in and then browse the shelves. They just like call ahead and apparently make a giant order
Yeah.
of like a couple of
Mm.
$1,000 and then come pick it up.
God damn.
Well, I mean, that's how much, like maybe 5 guys in your army cost. So.
Yeah, it depends. It can rack up real fast. Games Workshop makes so much fucking money.
Yeah.
I think I
mean,
told you guys that like there was this. They have like very special ways of doing injection molding. That's like special to them.
Mhm.
It's super patented. They don't even. That's not patented even. They don't even like release how to copy their mold techniques. And like a guy stole one of them once, like a disgruntled employee or something, and he then like posted it, and the dude got like so insanely like sued to the point where I think he owes the company like $2 or $3 million, and then they threw him in jail for like 10 years
Hot
Holy
damn.
because they
fuck.
refuse to let
Dude.
people know how they make their figurines.
Cool guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very chill. Very
Very
cool.
cool.
They're
Very cool,
crazy.
very
Games Workshop is almost as bad as like Hasbro when it comes to making money. And
I
making
love
sure they keep their
intellectual
money.
property.
Yeah, it's scary.
I
Very
got a
good.
quick little question for you guys.
Mm.
So, 3D printing is a lot more prevalent now,
Mhm.
right? And you can like buy a 3D printer
Mhm.
for like not way too much money,
Mhm.
right? How do you guys feel about 3D printing the figures for some of these tabletop games?
I'm all for it. You have the same sense that I have with like
Proxying
proxies
Magic.
in Magic,
Yeah.
which is like I literally don't care
Mhm.
as long as you don't go fucking crazy and you proxy the most powerful cards in the entire game in every single one of your decks, and then act like Magic is too expensive to play. Just like, yeah, it's because you're building stupid shit. I feel the same way in like Warhammer scenario. And then I obviously fully respect the company going like, you don't get to bring those to tournaments.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not saying for tournament play, but I mean like if you're
Open
just
play?
like
Don't care.
if you're just like, hey, like I like the thing that I like is just painting the figures or whatever, then like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
don't know.
I don't
or
mind.
like you play like with your friend on a Saturday.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, generally don't care.
I think it'd be really fun to have access to like a 3D printer for like figurine printing. Like
Mhm.
I don't know how complicated it is, but like I think even some like low res figures of like, you know, for in D&D, like you can have like, oh, this is like the sorcerer piece, and like, you know, it doesn't quite look like your character description, but that's your class, and then this one's like a paladin and stuff like that, and like move them around the table and shit. That sounds like fucking awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think like looking at other people's setups, like professional setups for this stuff, is like kind of insane. Like the most like egregious example is obviously like Crit Roll, when they have like their whole battle tables and like stuff and like big old figures. I'm like, oh my god, just once I would love to like sit at a table and like move figurines around like that. Holy shit.
That's I was a little spoiled for choice in college because my friend basically did that. He printed out everybody's figurine.
That's sick.
I've also like played like Warhammer with people who've proxied their whole army. I don't give a shit. Like, people who play Warhammer don't actually care because they just want to play Warhammer with somebody. Half of the time people buy the figures because they think the figures look cool. And like,
that's the whole point.
Games Workshop's figures are insanely cool.
They're
so
sick.
It's not really about like, I don't know. I think most Warhammer players, unless you're talking to some insane snobs, and same with most Magic players, don't really care. I think as long as you, but like, tournaments is a different thing though.
I agree about like the professional play, like especially if it's an event that's like sponsored or sanctioned by the whatever company is like actually manufacturing the whatever. Like, I get that they would have rules.
I also, however, have to point out one thing. I'm definitely not on the exact opposite side where people are like, fuck these companies, I'm just gonna print everything. And then, you know, there is also some give and take to that where I'm like, like, you know, if you really love Tau and you print only Tau, and the only reason you're doing it is because you hate Games Workshop, and like, well, you know, sometimes you also have to buy products so the game continues to exist, because that can also happen. That happened to like Warhammer Fantasy, where people just like didn't want to pay for Warhammer Fantasy figures because some of them were expensive, but then they like stopped paying for the non-expensive figures, and what Games Workshop did was like, well, if no one's buying this shit, I'm not going to make the figures anymore. And they completely killed the entire game franchise. So that part I don't like either. We're like, there's limits. We're like, I don't give a shit if like you just want to play Warhammer, but like if you want to support the company, you should probably buy some of their products occasionally, even though that is a weird thing to say.
I understand there's like some give and take, right? You know.
Like, you can play D&D with, like, scraps of paper, right? No one cares. You don't ever have to buy the books either.
That's right.
No, absolutely,
But I like having the nice books in my house.
And I'm sure that, like, actually having the legit figures for these games, these tabletop games, is, like I bet they paint better. They the resolution on them is going to be better. It's going to be
I want to show you one thing while I look it up, because
it's
it's crazy. Because one of the Games Workshop figurines is nuts. But go ahead while I pull this up. It's so cool having my phone. I can pull things up and show you.
Always on his phone.
I hate this now.
Even during the podcast.
Oh my god,
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
It's like the meta AI. Oh god, it's worse than Grok. What's it called? Ink Demon, I think.
Meta AI Tua just doesn't work. So.
It's true.
Demon. Competition.
He's too focused. It's okay.
I am.
Editing Hassan's gonna find that hilarious.
He will. He'll get a little chuckle.
I hate everything about you guys. I'm now pull that shit up, Jamie. Also, I realized.
Yeah, you're like the everything guy.
Just how like X's.
Like.
I hate this.
That's fucking sick. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Like, these things are crazy. People have some insane art. Okay, load. Like, that's insane. Yeah, they're really pretty.
Cool.
But yeah.
So I wanted to bring up kind of a fun, like, not direct quote, but kind of like a side thing. So if you haven't been following, some of us at this table might like the game World of Warcraft for the PC.
Woo.
And just in case, right?
We're back.
We're back.
Okay.
But hey,
we left the topic for like one topic.
No. Hey. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the Race to World First winner of this tier, Maximum. Congratulations. But I want to talk about, like, you know, NA EU rivalry stuff. But more importantly, I feel like he has just such a funny quote on stream, which was like, he was basically talking to the chat, and I think he said something along the lines of like, I don't think you guys understand that, like, most of my day is just trying not to get yelled at.
What?
Well, like basically, I feel like
He's like Hassan.
yeah. He just wants to like keep the peace, I guess, like in his own like stream chat or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I think on that topic, it's very funny that like a guy who's like basically the face of Liquid, in WoW at least, is like operating in such a way. So I wanted to ask if y'all in your daily life do something along those lines in which you are simply avoiding getting yelled at.
Oh no.
At all.
You know who I am. I
Yeah,
don't give a shit.
fair.
Like
You're
it's pretty
so
bad.
correct.
I just want to. I don't know. I half of the time don't care. Sometimes I'll avoid things because I know it'll make people uncomfortable, and I won't necessarily bring up topics, particularly political topics, around people. But there is also a threshold where I'm like, I just don't give a shit. Like yell at me, I don't care.
So
We'll figure
Hassan's
it out.
case is like he should have been yelled at more when he was younger.
True.
All right, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big confrontation person, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any way to avoid something like that. Then yep, I'm
Okay.
gonna do that.
All right, flip side is what's the dumbest shit in your opinion that you've ever gotten yelled at for?
Oh.
I bet you have
a lot.
Maybe every time you've gotten yelled at, you feel that way.
No. There's some actual dumb shit that I've gotten yelled at for. I remember when I was younger, my parents would get really mad that I played too many video games, even though
no.
I would have really high grades.
Even though I was
regardless.
conk in.
Shut the fuck up. Don't bring it up. Don't bring that up. This is a safe place for me.
But mom, you
But
bitch.
Mom, look, they're so cool. They have ghouloms, like in real life. No, I remember I was like, according to them, I played too many video games, and they're like, well, the problem is you're gonna do bad in your classes, and they yelled at me. They told me about this like just before exams started, and then I passed every single one of my one of my exams with above a 95%, and then I showed them that I passed everything while still playing that much, and then I got yelled at for like, well, you know, if you didn't play that much, you could have dedicated to other things that were like more productive. And I'm like, how? I can never fucking win. Like
That's so funny.
I
know this is not the point of what you just said, but hearing about a 26-year-old man flex about his GPA, it goes crazy.
That's how fucking dare you asked me a
Kinda
question.
I know.
It is kind of nuts, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's super fair. I think I've also had like a similar thing where like, you know, for the longest time, my mom in particular was like really against me playing video games just from the very start. I think the bane of all of this started was like the first time I visited China. I was like 6 and like the Game Boy Color was like out and my cousins like first of all knew what that is. Second of all, could read Chinese. Third of all, had a Chinese copy of Pokemon Yellow. And so they like had a really good time. But for me, I couldn't fucking read. The sprites were like nothing looked like anything. So I was just kind of like walking around and like doing bumbling shit. But for some reason that just really got my goat. And it was just over for me since then. So in high school I got into League, unfortunately.
Cringe. Same.
And then my mom noticed that I was like playing more video games. She's like, oh, like when this computer dies, like I'll just get you a new one. And it ended up like dying, and she's like, oh, I'll get you a Mac. And I think the intent was like, oh, Macs can't play video games. And so I was home one time, I was playing, I downloaded League Frame 1 basically.
Yeah.
And I'm playing League on my laptop. And she gets so mad because she didn't realize that you could play League on the Mac as well.
She thought that she got you.
Yeah, she was like, oh man, I got him good this time. Little did she know. Yeah, D-Jones find a way. You got anything?
I think, so I must confess, I don't think I've gotten yelled at very much. The time that kind of sticks out in my head is, so one of the only times I ever got like called into the principal's office in school, right, was when I got accused of stealing somebody's Nintendo DS.
Hey yo!
Did you steal the Nintendo DS?
Fuck no, I
Fucking
did not.
loser. You should have done it. Like, come on.
Should have done it in retrospect.
Yeah,
It's fine.
in retrospect, it probably would have been worth it, but but yeah, no. So like, I had Yeah, like the guy just like happened to have the same color DS
No.
that I did, right? And he was like, this guy like totally just stole this thing, right? And I'm like, well, no, I just like have one. And like for whatever reason, he like told the principal of the school, being like, yo, this guy stole my DS, right? So like I got called into the thing, and I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't understand. And the principal's like, so like somebody like told me that you stole their game thing. And I was like, what? Like, what do you even mean?
What are you talking?
And the principal's like, yeah, like I don't know, it seems like kind of credible what he said. And I was like, you're just gonna listen to like a third grader? Like, what's going on right now? Oh, sorry.
He stops
like
you. He's like, I trust kids.
Yeah, but the first kid that tells me something,
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
not the
The second
second
kid,
kid.
it's always their fault.
That requires too much trust.
Yeah.
That's
So like my mom got called, and my mom was like, yeah, no, I like fucking bought him that shit.
Yeah.
And like the principal was like, oh, well, like, okay, that's crazy. I definitely trust an adult. And then nothing ever happened after that. It was crazy. It was like, what the
Did
fuck?
you get yelled at?
Not really. The principal was just like, yeah, I like think you took this thing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no, like just call my mom, I guess.
Dude.
Like she was there when we got it. So I don't know. It's
Okay,
like-
this reminds me of another story, but I'll have to do things in order. So first of all, one of the stupidest shit I've ever gotten yelled at for was like when I was, like a toddler basically. So it was me and my sibling. We were maybe like 5 and 3, and I was like playing with my fucking. Well, this is a formative moment. Okay, so I'm like on the ground. I'm playing with like my little tanks or like cars or whatever. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just like moving shit around.
Hell yeah.
And then my sibling wanted to get in on the action, and I was like, "Well, these are my toys. You have your toys. Just go play with yours," kind of thing. And they didn't want to do that.
I see.
And they started like crying.
Yeah.
My mom like ran into the room, and she was like, "What happened?" And then my sibling goes like, "He hit me," and I was
Dude,
like,
holy
"Wait!"
That's when you just slap him. You're like, we're already in too deep.
Yes,
We're in too
if I'm gonna
deep.
get in trouble for it, I might as well have done it. So,
Even back then, I was like, "Oh, it always do be your own." Yeah, so I got punished for that, and I don't know. That was a really really big moment for my early years. And then and in terms of getting yelled at like school wise, so okay, y'all remember know and love Scantrons. And so
Oh, yeah.
for one of my classes,
So I actually the first time I ever used a Scantron was when I was in college. They did not have Scantrons in Dubai, which is weird. Anyway, that just
which
attacked.
means you still know and love them.
Yeah. I'm just
Okay,
saying. I was
cool.
like,
As long as we're on
you
the
just
same
had to
page.
buy your own.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. As long as we're on the same page.
Oh.
Yeah.
oh, we lost connection. 1 second.
Classic. He's gonna keep all this in, by the way. He's running to the camera.
We died.
Yep.
Cool.
We're like
We're back.
on the
Sorry.
fucking clap shit today,
Um,
by the way.
Whoa.
We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Obviously, the camera quality is now very different, but we'll deal with it later. Continue.
Shit, what was it talking about?
I can't fucking remember.
You were talking about.
I was talking about what is it? Shit, what was I talking about?
You were talking about the getting yelled at, and you were giving us a story.
Oh yes. Well, I finished off the story of. Oh yes. So
Everybody
I finished off
hates
the story
Scantron.
of getting yelled at by my mom, but also getting yelled at school.
Mhm.
So we were talking about Scantrons.
That's right.
Right. So Scantrons in high school. So it was in my chem class, and basically, we did this thing that was not uniform across all my classes, which is like she would give the Scantrons back and show you like which problems you got wrong and like the exam, the raw exam and stuff. So you got to keep the exam, but you could not keep the Scantron. You had to give the Scantron back to her because I think the chem teacher simply hadn't inserted the grades yet, which was confusing. Like, why would you give us the...
I'm confused. So there's a paper test, there's a Scantron.
There's a paper
you can
test.
keep the paper test, but you have to give the Scantron back.
That's right. Because the paper test did not mark off where... which problems you got wrong and what the correct answer was supposed to be. This
I see.
information was given on the Scantron.
On the Scantron. Okay.
But the problem is, it doesn't make sense to give it to us like fully because she hasn't inserted the actual grades onto like whatever grading website.
Why would
or
you not
spreadsheet.
just do that
I don't-
before?
Hey,
Oh my God,
I don't know.
dude, high school
Hey.
teachers. Oh my
But
lord.
but like this is not the same across all my classes because usually you just get the Scantron back and it's like whatever, fine.
Yeah.
But I accidentally took mine home and I was like, oh fuck,
Uh-oh.
whatever. I'll just give it back to our next class or
Uh-oh.
something. And it turns out that like so extra fun fact. So I went to boarding school for high school, so this is just even worse, right? Then I have like a conversation. Then like teachers kind of get more and more involved with me in like the next couple of weeks, and it was really just really weird. But basically, the chemistry teacher was like, "Did you give your Scantron to somebody else during this time?" I was like, "No, I just gave it back to you in class. I just forgot to give it to you like last period. Like, what's wrong?" And she's like, "I don't know about that." I'm like, I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. Like, I don't know what else I can do to like convince you, but I'm just gonna like, go back to my room or like go to my next class or something. And it was fine. And basically, separately, it turns out that in that window that I missed giving my Scantron back, somebody else who couldn't make it to class that day took a makeup exam. The person who took the makeup exam, generally speaking, didn't do super hot on those exams.
I see.
And in that same window, they happened to do basically just as well as I did.
Uh-oh.
In that window,
the coincidences
exactly
is just
and so I did
stacking
not
against you.
know that they were operating off of this information. So this
I
I'm
see.
giving you the flashback before
Yeah.
I had access to it.
That's right.
Okay. So what happens is like I'm just in my room and I'm like we all have like after school like duties, like you had to do your like afternoon activity, have dinner, and like just like do your homework in your room or something. And so at night, like the dean comes into my room.
The dean.
Yeah, the dean.
Fuck that shit.
And he like closes the door behind him.
Nah, that's a
and it's
window
like,
time. You're a window man.
No.
You're
He
fucking
closes
out of
he
there.
closes the door behind him and he's like, "Hey, we have something to talk about." I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" And
Fuck.
he obviously is like, "You cheated." I'm like,
Oh.
I didn't cheat. I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, your friend could get like expelled if you don't like cough it up, right? And like
Who's my friend?
the person who cheated, basically.
The makeup
are they
guy.
actually your friend though, or are they just like some random?
No. Like I mean, the school is small,
I see.
and so we kind of just like
Everybody knows
you
everybody.
just know everybody.
everybody knows everybody. I mean,
see.
I just played with League with him sometimes. That was like the extent of our
I see.
friendship, right?
I see.
And so,
But you're
then he's like,
associates.
he was basically trying to like a grown ass adult man was trying to like guilt trip me.
Gaslight you.
Yeah,
Instead of
basically
saying you
saying
did it.
like, yeah, like
Mhm.
if you don't do this, like he'll get expelled,
Mhm.
and like if you like admit it, then like you'll both get like less punitive action against you. Basically.
Oh, he's trying the prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah. He's
And
trying to
you
concentrate.
won,
I'm
but
like,
you're
dude,
like, no.
I literally don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Genuinely speaking, and he's like actually getting mad at me that I won't cough it up, and I simply don't, and it like works out for me in the end. But like, I think it was a really interesting thought because like basically that person who did cheat could have fucked me up at any moment. He could have been like, oh yeah, totally, I took it from him, and I would have just been done.
Yeah, but like
So
you
what-
both did the
did
right
they-
thing, which is not talk.
Did they cheat though?
Right. So what happened was absolutely insane. Now that like I'm gonna.
All right. Yes.
I'm
Sorry.
the full
I've got
unveiling.
so many
No.
questions.
This is true. The full unveiling is basically that like okay, we flash back again to when he's taking the exam.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's taking the exam and he's only taking it later because he was like not at school that day.
Sure.
And they're like, okay, well it's not during the usual period, so you can just take it whenever you want. And there's like someone else like in like the science like office basically.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing it in there. But the problem is like everybody else at that time, all the teachers had to go teach.
Mhm.
So he's in the office hours room by himself taking the exam with 0 proctor.
That's crazy.
So he's just on
Okay,
his
so-
fucking phone
Yeah.
getting all the answers right.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, there's no way. Like, how could he have done this? The only way he could have done this was use someone else's information. Dude, the kid has his phone by himself. What do you think he's going to fucking do? So the fact that like
not cheating there would have been the L play.
I don't know.
Like
But
if
the
you're
fact-
alone, fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
No, but the thing is, like, this is the setup, and two or more grown ass adults are like, you're an evil person.
Yeah,
and like
no,
you totally cheated.
no, it's bullshit.
With this setup, it's
like,
crazy.
sorry, if somebody does that, right? The play is to cheat because you're there for problem solving, and that's just problem solving. You're like, you've given me the constraints of no one watching me.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Obviously, he should have done better. He should have, like, he's like, okay, my record is I'm a C student. Let's say I do really well. I'm going to be a B student here.
No,
Dude,
Dad.
I'm sorry. He's a C student. He's not gonna think that hard about this. Like,
That's true.
No, I mean deadass. I mean, I think that was like the logic. He usually got 70 somethings in his chem things, and so like he just suddenly popped up with like a 98.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, no, you got to be a little more clever when you do it.
my guy, I don't unproctored, untimed. Like, how the fuck is he not supposed to cheat there? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
But imagine the full chaos outcome where he's just like, he obviously cheated in a way that didn't involve me, but he's like, yeah, no, I totally use this.
Yeah, I
shit,
use
so
this
fuck
shit,
him
yeah.
too. You know, like, I don't know. I felt like so
well,
vulnerable.
I feel
at
like
that time.
he would need so much information to like name you specifically in that situation, right? Like he would need to know that you did accidentally brought it
No.
home and did not give it back.
Patrick,
problem-
you're talking
the-
about cops here. They probably
Yeah.
like, did Will give this to you?
Exactly.
Oh, that's fucking
Exactly.
psycho. No.
They're
That's
literally-
bad cop work just in
No, no, no.
general. Like
That is standard procedure.
Yes.
I have no idea.
No.
what to do.
No. You're confusing bad cop work. Their job is to get the villain. The villain is Will.
Yeah.
He's already been judged.
Yeah. So they've already placed they've already like cemented in like this is justice here, and the fact that we've pinned you as the enemy and you haven't been caught yet, like it's our job to like carry
Exactly,
this out.
exactly.
So your actual problem is you're forming your conclusion at the end, where like you
That's
should be
not
forming
right,
it at
yeah.
the beginning.
Exactly. You should work towards the answer.
Conclude first, then beat people up.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
I'm very upset.
See,
right
this
now.
is
I'm not
you
gonna
know why
lie.
this works
I'm
because
very
he's
upset.
white. Like he's used to cops going like, "Oh, you didn't notice that you were going, 103 in a school
that's
zone?
not
You
the-
must be
no,
dyslexic."
I understand
Mr.
what
Officer.
cops
Sorry.
do. I understand what cops do. I just
You're right. That kid looked a little bit like a traffic cone. I'll give you a warning.
Yeah. Anyway, the
All right.
dean quit like a year after.
Because of this.
Yeah, because of me. I'm so
exactly.
sure it's because of me.
Exactly. You snuck in secret dean answers into his pockets
Dude,
later.
I mean, the guy just became a dean at like a different fucking private school.
I
so
see.
Who the fuck cares?
gross.
Dude,
That's crazy. So, just kind of, I guess, tangentially related to this, just kind of like, I guess, along the lines of like high school bullshit. Did you guys have like turnitin.com?
no,
Shit like that to go through?
Not until I was in college.
Not until you were college, but you did have it in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I know what that is actually.
So Turnitin is the essay one, right? That checks
Yeah.
for plagiarism.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's say if you write an essay, you submit this Google Doc or whatever you're using, and then it has like some AI that like cross-references the entire internet to see if you copied a significant portion.
I thought that only popped off when like during like initial launch of ChatGPT era.
No.
Oh,
It
that was
became
before that point.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was before.
this was in high school. This
Did
was
you ever
like
get clapped by that when you were innocent? Because I did. It
yes,
was crazy.
Yes, I have.
Oh,
I have. That's
shit.
kind of why I bring it up.
Okay.
Is because
Yeah.
like it actually like so you would write like an essay and like put direct quotes in the thing, right? And
Okay.
as long as something is in direct quotes, right? Like it will kind of ignore it, right?
Sure.
But like there are certain phrases that like it are just like common in the human language, and it's just like this person's used it, that person's used it, then it just like extra weights that shit in
Sure.
your essay, right? So like
It's like by Bigfoot's asshole. Very common phrase.
yes, very very ubiquitous, especially if your name is Hassan.
Yeah, this is true. To all of Hassan users.
Hassan, everybody who has the Hassan spec.
Yeah,
It's
that's
over
right.
for us.
This is
right.
true. This is true.
But like this kind of popped into my head because like sometimes it was like actually hard to like get the minimum Turnitin requirement, like similarity requirement or whatever. Even though you're like dead ass just writing your normal fucking shit, right? And it's crazy that is a problem at all, right? But now that like ChatGPT does exist, right? I feel like this problem is infinitely harder to clear
Oh,
than it
100%.
was.
I thought they
just
juiced it up like crazy.
They juice it up like crazy because ChatGPT, yes.
Yeah, so like I feel like you could potentially be just like a normal high school student, right? And just typing up your essay,
Yeah.
and you could get absolutely mauled by whatever thing they're using to like determine if you're an AI or not, right?
I got clapped by it when I was in, I think it was one of the physics labs here at UCLA. And I even remember where I went like, dude, what the fuck? So basically, we were doing an experiment for the speed of sound through liquids.
Sick.
And, usual thing, you write your lab, you write your lab report.
Mm-hmm.
I submit and turn it in. It just gives me like a tick because then it was hidden, the requirement. Okay.
Mm.
I didn't think about it. I just published
Sus.
it. And then I get called in by the TA and he's like,
Psycho.
you copied this
Nope,
lab report.
psycho.
And I'm like, what lab report? And then he's talking about how I copied a lab report. And then what I do is in front of him, look up the lab report. Well, it turns out that like some student from a few years ago published his lab reports on Course, like that one, Course Hero.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it turns out that, when you're making tables of
Yeah.
the speeds of sound and talk about the speed of sound and
Yeah.
the same experiment that we
Yeah,
did
in the same
it's
medium.
in the same thing,
Yeah.
in the exact same, lab report that you're
Yeah.
writing because you're given a template for how to write these things,
That's right.
is going to be fucking similar. And then I was like, am I the only person who got hit by this? And then he goes, well, you're the one who's closest. And then it turns out that everybody else in the class had like, I had like 55%, and everybody else in the class had 53 to 54%.
That's so
and I
stupid.
was the highest one. So therefore, it was me who. And then he's like, well, you looked it up pretty quickly. And I was
this,
like,
this TA has to get fired.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait.
They need to get obliterated.
and then
This
he
is
goes,
insane.
you know what he was, instead of going like, hey, sorry, that was bad. He goes, his frame one was, well, you knew how to look that up pretty fast. So that means you knew where it was and you copied it from there. And I'm like, were you ever a student?
Dude, I'm sorry. A physics TA being like, "Oh wow, like you got the right answer and you cheated somehow," is like, okay.
Wait, no,
All
there's,
right,
there's
that's
so many
psycho.
layers to this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking
Well,
crazy.
I'm mad because you got the same thing as the other guy. It's like, yeah, we did the same experiment.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm mad that you wrote the same conclusion.
Yeah, did you
'cause
think
we wrote
that
the
like
same-
did you think that like the speed of sound would change in the
Yeah.
medium
Yeah.
or
So
like
the
you,
fucked
you
up
think
part-
some weird
No,
shit, or-
actually, if you interpret hard enough, it's not the same.
Oh, I see. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
right.
If you notice the error bars there are different.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
It was so fucking annoying. And then that was actually, I've had two situations with like physics TAs that like really did not fuck with me. The other one was a classical mechanics exam, and I wrote down the inertial tensor, like from memory. And the dude just refused to believe me that I wrote it down from memory because my friend, who was also in the class, wrote it down from memory.
Ooh.
And he's like, you
How
guys
dare you know
cheated.
things.
And I was just like,
That's
dude,
crazy.
it's the inertial tensor. And he's like, I memorized the inertial tensor. And he goes, well, if you did, then write it on the board. So I wrote it on the fucking board.
Good
and I
for
was just like, what do you want from me? And
All right, Hassan, if you know it so well, write it on the board right now.
no, I don't really remember. It's gone. This
Oh,
is-
you totally
that
cheated.
would've
You
been
totally
so,
cheated.
That would have been so fire if you absolutely clocked it right now.
I think I remember half of it. I don't remember the off-diagonal terms.
SMH. You didn't study your inertial
Oh, that's
tensor before
fucking
coming to the
disgusting.
podcast.
Wow.
Fuck you.
We're
That's
actually
funny.
agents of that TA.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I mean, the fact that like a TA thinks that you cheated that hard, I feel like, and also like a physics major like setting, I feel like that's kind of fucked. I feel like in
Yeah.
a sort of like pre-med setting, personally, my bias is like that I would be more on like, I guess, high alert to clock certain things like this, but like that's crazy.
Yeah, it was upper division physics
That
for
doesn't
both
make-
classes
that doesn't
too.
make any fucking
it wasn't.
sense.
We were
That's
like,
crazy.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, just leave me alone.
There
Like,
is
what am I gonna do? Cheat so I can not get a job? Like-
Exactly. Yeah. I made it. I made it to like the second class of classical mechanics just so I can get kicked out of the program now.
There is one. So when I was a TA for one of the like labs here, there was an instance of like a student for sure cheating. So like they were making like a cosmic ray detector, right? And somebody else in the class was also making a cosmic ray detector. And they presented the same exact 2D histogram in their reports.
Exact.
Same.
Yeah, cosmic
exact
rays are
ones.
they measured at the same cosmic rays.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah, exactly.
at the same time,
Yeah.
the same day, in the same
yeah.
spot.
Yeah, exactly. So like and it was kind of obvious that the one student like took a screenshot of, like a presentation that the other guy did earlier in the year, right? And like those slides were like saved and everything. So I was like, this is kind of sus. So I had to like tell the teacher, and the guy just like straight up was like, no, I would never do that. And then the teacher emailed back and was like, look, I'm a physics professor. I kind of know like this cosmic ray shit a little bit. And like there's the statistical probability that those are just the same and you both took that data is like 0. Like like I know statistics. Like this is impossible.
Yeah, I think trying to pull a fast one on the prof is pretty tough.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah, my Instagram's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit up the same rays and they told me so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
it was pretty rough.
Do you think it's the same cosmic ray that did the Mario super jump?
Dude, I think about that way too often.
Do you know about this?
What?
Okay. Do you want to? You go for it. Are you
Okay,
like,
so you know how people speedrun these like old Mario games, right?
Yeah.
Specifically Super Mario 64, right? There is a video recording of this guy like going through one of his speedruns, right? And he's going through the speedrun, right? And instantly his character teleports up like 3 floors.
And also just to add, like, he wasn't cheating because he was
no cheating.
video recording himself playing
Live.
the game. Like,
Yep.
'cause
Yeah,
he
yeah,
couldn't screen grab it. Like, it's literally a camera behind
Yeah,
him
yeah, yeah.
recording everything.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. And he's like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened, right? So people go around and they like try to recreate this, right? Like, because the whole thing is recorded, right?
They
So
even,
people
tried
are
to
like,
Taz it. Can't do it.
yeah, and it's just like at one point his character just like increases the Z value of his position, like doink, he's just like up there, he teleports, right?
Oh shit!
And the prevailing theory, right?
No shot.
I'm not
You're
joking.
fucking kidding
I'm not
me.
joking. The prevailing
No.
theory is that a cosmic ray
Shut the
hit
fuck up.
exactly as he was at that position, and it did 1 bit flip, causing him to teleport up 3 levels.
You're telling me that kid would rather fucking copy an assignment rather than report that? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, no, that is the prevailing like hypothesis for what
Holy
happened.
shit.
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy.
Dude, neutrino skip when?
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm thinking is like the next generation of Super Mario like 64 players, like speedrunners, they just need to like put like a little like nuclear reactor next to their game
Dude,
and
hell
just
yeah.
What would
fucking
actually
see
be
what
even cooler
happens.
is you put a scintillator right above that counts the cosmic rays.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a little like motor below that
Yeah.
moves the N64 in like a
Oh,
in a way
dude,
to like
no.
catch them. You're like,
That'd be so fucking fast. Are you kidding me? Your game would be like the fucking Flash. Like no way.
what's a few?
Oh no, the muon decayed before it hit the cartridge.
What's a 0.7%
Well, actually,
the
its
speed of
lifetime
light?
gets expanded. No,
Oh,
sorry. Sorry.
I just got hit. Fuck. Oh my god.
Okay, wait. All this neutrino talk actually reminds me of something else that I heard that was absolutely batshit insane. So it's my friend's brother. Sorry, I'm gonna roast you.
Get wrecked.
Say his name,
Yeah.
bro. Say his
Okay,
name.
so he's like
James.
No.
Just keep guessing.
My friend, his family is like extremely like Christian. They're like hardcore Korean Christian. My friend, my friend is no longer that way, but his brother is still very much this way. And his brother went to undergrad for like with a physics major, and I think he's like working on getting into med school. Anyway, I'm bringing up the physics background just because like, you know, we're getting into it. So he's still very like, you know, into religion and stuff. And so he told my friend the story of like, oh my God, like God talked to me through physics, and like this is proof that he's like real. like trying to like basically. I think his brother has this understanding that he's no longer as religious and is like trying to pull him back in, right? And so he's like, my physics background was like save the day, and like here's the reasoning. And when and now he's like relaying the story to me, and so he's saying like, okay, so his brother, this is his brother talking. He's like, I was laying on the stairs as one would, and first of all, I'm like, why are you laying on the stairs?
As one would.
And I was laying there, and I had my eyes closed as one would. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was just, I think my guy was just taking a nap, right?
Yeah.
He was just
on
there,
the stairs.
and he was like thinking about,
God.
I was thinking about God, and I was thinking about how it all connects with physics and stuff. And then, just laying there with my eyes closed, I suddenly see a bright flash of white light. And then it was gone. And he was like, the only way this could happen is God answering my prayers by like sending a neutrino exactly like into my eyeball at that moment. And that's why God is real.
Dude, I'm a fucking believer. There it is.
Dude, what if he's serious, right? And he builds this entire thing for God to communicate to him. He's hardcore Christian, right? Everything is done. He then like sets it up for God to send him a message, and he writes Allah.
I've got bad news. Yeah, just like pause for a second. Okay, so like that was like maybe like 3 billion neutrinos passing through all of us. I'm sorry, but your cones do not see that shit. Shut the fuck up. Sorry. I don't know.
Oh man, that was a good setup. Goddamn.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So, I'm going to this fundraiser today, and it turns out that while I was at the event on Thursday, one of the people overheard me, and they're also going. So look, I'm a fairly sociable person.
Oh boy.
But I'm also not
Here
a
it comes.
person who immediately becomes
he's gonna
friends
say some
with somebody.
unhinged shit right here.
He's gonna be mean to somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, here's the sign.
Okay,
2,
listen. This
1.
man is super friendly. He's a very nice man, very
all
nice
over.
guy.
And that's why you don't fuck with him.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I don't. Listen. Just listen. Just listen. Hear me out. We talked for like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, he's like, oh, I'm gonna be there. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll see you there. And I'm taking photographs. And then he comes up to me. He's like, oh, I just want to get your number before you head out. Just like when we're there, we can communicate. And I'm like, sure. I could also just walk up to you.
Why
but
would you
fine.
say yes?
So I gave him my number. And I'm like, hey, son, I'll see you there. I then go home and I'm playing League. And then he messages me. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be there and this time. I'm like, cool. I'll see you there. This is my line. So I'm like, cool, I'll see you there. No worries. And then we talk, and he like keeps messaging me. He's like, oh, do you live near campus? And I was like, kind of, sort of. And he goes, well, I have a car. And like, if you want to carpool there, we can. And I'm like, no, I have my own car. I'm going to drive there. And then he goes, well, okay. And then like kind of ignores. Well, I think I said something else. I was like, oh, thanks for the offer, but I have my own car. That's all I said. And then he goes, yeah, I might not stay the full time, but I'm going to be going with other friends from like the math department and all of this stuff. And like just talks to me. He's like, well, you know, like if you want to go with one car, like it could be fun. And I'm like, I'm probably going to drive my own car and I'll see you there. I may or may not link up with my friends after. So like, you just do you. And like, just so much messaging. Like I met you for 10 minutes, my guy. Why are we having this conversation?
I
don't mind the offer. I'm like, hey, you know, I have my own car. Thanks.
I hate to admit it. I think I'm on his side this time.
Yeah, no. The more that you have said things, yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like I appreciate the friendliness, but like maybe take a hint.
Yeah. I feel like texting me after the like, I have my own car, but thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
That if he stopped there, I'm like, you're just a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now I'm just getting annoyed.
Yeah. I think if you were mad before that point, I would have been like,
No.
trying to be nice.
No,
Yeah.
before that point, I wasn't mad. I was just more like, I've known you for 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but like, sure.
I'm trying to win lane here. So
Yeah,
I can't
exactly.
talk
I was
to you.
literally playing Gangplank when this was happening. So like he would message me and then I would like take
And
a few
then-
minutes to respond.
and then you
And
missed
then
the
like
barrel.
he would insta message me again and I'm like, I'm fucking working on killing Cannon Indians. You gotta wait. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how friendships develop for me
That's
either.
right.
I'm like, oh boy, nope, I'm good.
Leave
I'm
me
good.
alone.
Yep, I'm
Leave
good.
me alone.
I'm in my delve. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we're going there, huh?
Dude,
Yeah.
you just got me killed. I got ganked by Zekfear. What the hell?
I'm just hoping that like I'm gonna go to this event because I would like to meet up with my friends who are not from UCLA.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna hang out with them for like a few minutes, and I'm gonna go fuck off and do things.
Gangplank.
However, I feel like I have acquired a puppy, and I will have a follower for get right. Exactly, you're gonna.
Yeah,
I have
know
a
what you
follower
mean.
now, so I have acquired my first NPC. This is crazy.
Don't say acquired.
Bro, you did not say
Don't say
like that.
acquired.
Oh man, yeah.
you have Riz somehow sitting in top lane. This is crazy.
The only gangplank to
Yeah,
have
you're,
is
you're up there like eating oranges and blasting barrels, and he's just like,
oh my god, he texted me.
it's like that's the man.
Meanwhile, I'm timing my cues to make sure Garen doesn't have
Dude.
passive heal. And I'm like,
Literally,
oh my
this
God.
is so funny. Like learning, like this is not. I have no idea if this person is like actually like into you or anything. But I was talking to someone yesterday, and she's like, basically the concept of being into very shy people is really funny. Because like she's like, yeah, so like I don't know, like my last ex-boyfriend was like really shy.
Mhm.
I had to like set up our first date and our second date and our third date, and I asked him out, and and I made sure it was like a one-on-one for our birthday. I'm like, dude, I'm so down for you to be into whoever you're down to be with, but like it's a lot of fucking effort, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't fuck with that.
Well, but like it's one of those. It's like it's the thrill of the hunt, you know? and that is what I'm saying is happening here. It's like, oh, he's being so hard. You're playing so hard to get right now.
You know, I'm just like, oh, that's a triple barrel. Fuck yeah, brother.
I bet once I get to him, he'll be a great friend to me.
just ours top lane.
Once the reciprocation comes, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was an experience where I'm like, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wondered, have you ever had that happen to you?
I've definitely had lopsided friendships or like, acquaintanceships in the past for sure. Yeah, probably nothing like of the same
Yeah, you're
magnitude though. Like I for the most part, I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like we'll talk when we see each other. I'm not a really big texter, so I'm just kind of like, if I'm not talking to you directly on the phone or in person, then I'm just like,
you see,
you don't have too much to talk about right now. So
you see, the greatest feature on my iPhone is the mute function, because I fucking hate when I get the little pop up that there's like a message, or like when I get the little like red thing on my messages. So I just mute chats, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I'll get to you when I get to you.
This unironically makes me so upset. Sean, did you know that there's a built-in function that lets you get rid of the notification?
What do you mean?
It's called reading the fucking message.
No, but when I read the message now, I have to fucking respond. So I just mute the chat, and I'm like, ooh. No, I know. I am functionally a chaos demon. I understand
I'm
this.
so mad.
I think I have like so many muted chats on my phone, and like people just can send messages in there. I use like an email. I get to it like once a day. I'm like, oh, you messaged me. And then we talk a little bit, and then I'm like, I'm off again. Goodbye.
that's crazy.
The inner workings. I know.
I think I've realized that like for the longest time I thought I was maybe like, I don't know, I treated and thought about texts in a normal way, but I now understand that like I think about them way more than the average person. Where I'm like, okay, well, I think this message is happening, this conversation doesn't have to be right now, but like I guess the format I'm down with is like it's a weird thing, but it's like, have y'all played like chess over the course of like multiple days?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that for me. Like I don't care about necessarily starting and finishing the conversation in a sort of like, I don't know, concise amount of time, because at that point I'm like, Let's just call and just get it over with.
You see, that's how I am. But people
Right.
aren't like this.
But
which
like
is why-
if it is something that's like not super urgent or important, then I'm like, okay, well, I'll make a move, you make a move. But a lot of times it's like with certain people, it's like I'll make a move and then they just fucking forget. Right? It could be a week or longer. I'm just like, okay, this fucking sucks.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's not awesome.
So funny.
It's because people like
Like we exist.
like you specifically. Like, oh, I guess I'll mute this chat. Like this might not be important.
You see, I don't have. If you're my close friend, you know that like I will respond immediately. Like I'm fucking crazy. But that's how Zuri, for example, she's one of my closest friends. She's like, I know who you consider a friend or not based on who you have muted on your phone, because like if she texts me, I'll like respond almost immediately or within a few hours. If like other people text me, they're like, oh, you know, Hassan's such a bad texter, and she's like, that's not my experience, and she's like, oh. You're in the pile.
Yeah,
and, like,
I guess I'm just getting flexed on.
You're great. I always respond to you. That's not true. The only time I don't is when at work, because my phone goes to work mode and fucking mutes everything, and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
hate it.
fucking-
But yeah, overall, I usually respond, and also Discord. If you message me on Discord, I will respond. If I don't respond to you on Discord, I don't give a shit about your message and anything.
He hates you.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of similar in a way. Like, there's,
You take forever to respond sometimes.
it depends.
It's a call out post.
It depends.
Defend
Yeah.
yourself.
It depends. Yeah. There are some times where, like, if I'm at home and like there's a work question, I'm just like, I don't really want to think about this right
me.
now.
I'm getting called out now.
I don't really want to think about this at this very moment.
Somehow the fire
Like,
has hit me.
But like I feel like what I try to do now is I'm just like, let's talk about this tomorrow.
Fine.
Let's just do this tomorrow.
I also understand because I'm very like stream of consciousness, like also at the same time as being this like long term. I guess like being able to like reattach to the conversation and like re-understand the context,
Mhm.
and then like detaching from it and like
Mhm.
looking back at it later is something that like comes to me a little bit more easily
Mhm.
than not doing that, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I understand
No, I
is
get
like
that.
not the case for, because like people, it's not even just like, oh, we want to have this conversation like right now. It's also like they like the idea of finishing off the conversation, so it's not like constantly in the back of their head.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, that's typically how I operate.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, there's an open interaction now, right? And I would
Yes.
like,
I
you
wanna
know,
fucking
although
finish it.
although
Yeah.
I don't like dislike interacting, right? It is like a there is now a goal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
No,
I'm like,
that's
you know,
very interesting because like that for some reason doesn't really stress me out. Like the mental load of like having an extra open conversation, like at least texting wise, like I don't, it like doesn't stress me out that much. But like
Hmm.
I can see, I've been in similar situations where I'm like, wow, it's like really stressful to have all of these things open.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's for me. I mean, that's why I also like, when I play, like Hearts of Iron or whatever, I almost never have notifications because like I just go through all of them. That's how it feels in my phone. Where like if I get a message from somebody, I'm like, oh, I can respond to this now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I mean, like, yeah, yeah.
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 I really like talking like in person. I feel like I do all right with doing that, but
Yeah.
I like texting sometimes. I feel like it's just kind of,
Yeah, if you need
It's
me,
just difficult
just
to-
fucking call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
No,
difficult
if
to do
you
this.
if you call me, I will almost always answer because I'm like, okay, somebody
Yeah.
actually needs something from
Yeah,
me.
yeah, it's like something
But
actually
yeah.
important.
But
Yeah.
if something is urgent and you text me, if you text me off work, I'm probably in a league game and I'm not gonna look at it until something happens that's interesting or like
Yeah.
not interesting in league. Which is I understand is a bad thing because League of Legends.
yeah.
Yeah, but also, like when you're just like in your recharge time or whatever, it's nice to just do that.
Have your own
have
time.
that little recharge going on. So
What's the
All
funniest
we're
thing you've
doing-
done because of League?
Funniest thing I've done because of League.
Because I have a really funny story.
Oh shit! What have I done because of League?
So you know how so Ludwig was telling the story of how one time he came home in the middle of the night. It was like 11 p.m. or something, and he went to his door and he like rang the doorbell because he forgot his keys. And then Cutie's like, "Oh, can you just wait out there for a little bit because I'm playing a league game?" And like that
Sick.
kind of activated a memory in me because this has happened many times where like I'm playing a league game and then something happens, which technically is a little bit urgent. but like I just want to finish my league game. So I remember one time I ordered like DoorDash, and the driver came and they're like, oh, the front door isn't opening, which is like at the bottom of my building, and we're like on a major street, and I was just like, yeah, just put it outside, don't worry about it. And then I finished like a 50-minute match of League. And I'm like, if the package is there, the package is there. And I've also done this with like Amazon packages or like more expensive shit. Or like, oh fuck, I gotta finish my League game though.
You know,
You're insane.
I don't know why I'm surprised. Like, I shouldn't be surprised by this.
No,
Like, this shouldn't be shocking to me, but yet it still is. Like,
I'm not gonna get. I have, I joined the game, as they always say, Summoner's Code. When you start a League game,
Summoner's Code.
Yeah, when you start a League game,
what does that
you're in there
mean?
with 9 other people, and if you leave, then you're ruining the game for 9 other people. So
You're also ruining the game if you're typing slurs in all chat. So how do you defend yourself?
I don't type slurs. I just type "you okay?" question mark.
I believe Will.
I don't type slurs. I have very high honor in the game. Very
That
high
just
honor
means you
code.
play a fucked up.
Shut the fuck up. He doesn't know that well. Shut the fuck up. I played once, and I was in a normal queue, and we like the queue popped, and I go in game, and like the other guy writes in all chat, "Oh my god, I never found anybody who has that many points on Gangplank," and I'm like, rude, but okay, and he responds with,
Why rude?
Because
Why is that rude?
They're trying to say
They're
that
saying like, wow, you've played the game a lot with this character. That's awesome.
That's not what they're saying.
no,
Patrick.
that's not what they're saying.
What? Okay, maybe I don't.
They're making fun of me for
they're-
playing
yeah,
the game
exactly.
a lot.
They're
Wait, why?
Well, because the idea is if you play the game a lot and you're still bad,
Mhm.
like that's like a double roast on you.
Yeah, like
Kinda
because
energy.
I don't play on that account ranked at all, unless like right now because I'm fucking bored. So like it's the account that I only use to play with like my friends. So, but I play a lot with my friends.
I would have taken that comment the other way.
No,
Like,
no.
yeah,
so he's
this is
making
my
fun
guy.
of me. But the thing is, I was playing against a guy who was in platinum, and he was like a platinum scion, and then I fucking clapped his ass. I went 13-0, and his response was, "Oh, why are you smurfing?" And I'm like, "It's a fucking normal game. you can never win. You can never fucking win with these idiots."
This is why I don't have all chat on. Just period.
Well, but you know what the fun thing is? Every time I killed him, I typed in chat, "You okay?" And then
Oh, so you just egged him on the whole time.
Oh, of course.
I see.
He started it, and then
could've-
and you know how Scion has the thing where like when he dies
You know
in
what,
his passive,
you're right.
he
I
punches
believe
you.
Will. I believe Will.
He punches you. So what I did was I killed him, and I was basically at full HP, and this actually drove him across over everything he wanted. I think he was going to quit. I kill him, full HP, and then I just like stand there when it's past, and I type in all chat, "Oh, you can hit me, it's okay." And like he fucking tries to kill me, and just as my HP was almost at dead, I press W and eat a fruit, and I'm like, orange greater than Scion, and he was just like, "I'm fucking done."
Again, so viewers, the way you get around, the way I'll play this type of social interaction, right, is like the best thing is actually to pull a Hassan, but you instead of actual texts in game, if you hold tab, and if there's like someone who's like yapping a lot on all chat, you can mute their character, so you don't have to interact with them anymore.
You only do that when you're losing. When you're winning, you gotta keep
the
going.
Moment, no matter what, if someone says some bad shit on my team, on their team, I'm like, cool. I've already unfortunately been through the situation of like trying to explain my thought process for why I did something or why I think your play was bad, and people take it bad instantly, and like trying to type for the rest of the game. Not about that. I'm just trying to fucking win here, right?
Yeah.
And effectively, if I get that out of my system, I type less, I see less negative things, makes me play better. So I'm being extremely.
That's
sort
good
of
for you.
pragmatic.
Yeah. I like to boom their mental because when their mental is gone,
This
I
is
win
true.
the game even faster.
This is true. It is a strategy. So like, this is true.
Look, even pros do it. When when Bippo types in question mark after he kills the Renekton with Gangplank, that booms that guy's mental forever.
Yeah, that's very true.
But you can only do this when you're winning, chat. When you're losing, you have to mute people. Otherwise, you get your mental boom.
It's like I think there's this like football series on one of the streaming services, right? And the coach just kind of like gives the game away, and he's like, "Listen, the objective that you have is to hurt your opponent."
Yes.
Right? Your job as a football player is to hurt your other opponent so they can't play the game anymore, right?
Yeah.
And this is just how Hassan approaches video
Exactly.
games.
It's called tactical fouling.
Yeah. You just want to hurt them. You want pain to be administered to your
I told you
opponents.
before, League of Legends is one of the few games where it physically hurts you. And that's because you're playing against 9 other people who've decided to play League of Legends with 9 other people, not against. Your teammates are your friends.
See, the last time we played, you guys said that like there were people that were like typing and stuff.
They were really
right?
mad at. Yeah, one guy was mad at you for like being really good at Nautilus.
I've played 3 times, dog. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, he
Like,
kept
that's
going, like-
that's a
Stay
lot
mad,
more
right?
about them than it is
Yeah.
about me. Okay.
Oh,
But I didn't see any of it. I was sad. I was like fucking just clicking
I mean,
around.
I can turn on all chat for
Don't
you,
turn
but I don't think you want it on.
Don't turn that shit on.
I don't know. Sometimes I like that shit. If there was all chat in Heroes of the Storm, I think my life would be complete.
It's like
I think it would be.
Why do you want to
I'm like a
engage-
hummingbird to
I don't
salt.
know.
Why do you-
I'm not
why
sure.
do you-
So it's weird because like
This is awesome.
the little bit, just like okay. So you know how like people say that there's like an amount that you can like drink and you like get better at things, right? There's
Yeah.
like a small amount of things you can have, and then there's like a tipping point, right? It's the same thing with tilt.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's a small amount of tilt, right, that makes you better, right? If it goes over that, right, if you like let it get to you too much, then it's
Exactly.
all over, right? But
Exactly.
the itty bitty.
This is what I mean by
tiniest amount
you
of
have to
tilt,
mute
right?
if you're losing.
It kind of makes you go woo, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is not a reaction I have. It's not a teetering on the edge. I'm just like, I don't need this to like push myself to become better.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also don't need it, right?
I
But
want it.
sometimes,
I just want it.
Sometimes the little bit of like, ooh, like I fucking don't like that guy. It just kind of
yeah. Sometimes you have to flame to enjoy the process.
No, so I don't like the flaming part. I don't participate in the flaming part. I like reading
Watch
though.
it. Oh,
I love
all right.
reading.
You know
I'm
what?
a little
This moves back-
goss.
I finally thought about it.
You see,
Where-
but you know
where
who really
asked
does
me-
flame? Harut. Oh my lord, that's bad though. He goes for blood. I don't do that shit. I just type you okay. Continue.
No, you're good. I think I finally like. What is the funniest thing what is it done for
Because of League or for
because
League,
of
yeah.
League is trying to get Patrick the gold.
Dude, true. Actually, this is the biggest tilt. You know why? Actually, you've caused maximal damage because we tried to get you to goal and end up with me being addicted to League again. Yeah, just
Yeah, but
It's
how's
called-
that for a little bit of tilt?
Look, hey, look. It's called Spell Reflect. All right? You guys casted, I put it up. And there you go.
I had League uninstalled off of my computer. I reinstalled it so we can play with you, and then after we played one game, I'm like, I love gang playing too much.
I've played more than one game,
played-
and I will
We played
play
2 games
more.
together.
Yeah, well,
With me.
I think we've played more than
You guys played 4 games.
Oh,
You
okay.
played without me.
I'm pretty sure I've played more than 2 games with you.
Something like that.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Anyway, like I said, I am still down to play. I'm just
What are you doing after this?
underground.
What are you doing after this?
I'm underground.
What are you doing after this?
I have
He's
some,
underground.
I have some keys scheduled. And then I have
at 5.
and then I have Saturday raid.
He's underground.
And then you're at a fundraiser. You can't even do anything.
I have
Before he's raising the fund.
I'm at a fundraiser at 7 p.m., motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean raid's still like 7:30. So.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm gonna do it. But I thought afterward you have to do your fucking delves before bed.
Yeah, probably. But okay, so
Do you
like
have Sunday raid?
no, I
Do
don't
you have Sunday
raid.
keys?
No, probably. Well, probably not. We can play in the evening Sunday.
He said,
Yeah.
well, maybe.
Sunday evening.
We might
I
get
can
him
play
to
a little
level
bit.
30 by the end of the year.
Oh my god. Okay.
We're already in October. It took us a month to schedule like 4 games with you. So I'm just saying.
So fucked.
All right, real quick though. I must
We have time because there's like a whole section where like
I
technical
must
difficulties.
bring up Delve okay? Because last night I did a delve, right? I did a tier 11.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I did a tier 11 delve. Immortal.
Oh,
I
don't know
am
what that means.
immortal spelunker now.
Like,
What does that mean?
what is?
I got
wanna
the title.
celebrate.
I got the title.
What is
So
what does the title mean?
You did tier 11 of all delves?
No. Tier 11. I did one tier 11, no deaths. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's
Nice.
sick. I don't know what
Yes.
that means.
Basically, you set it to the hardest difficulty possible.
Yeah.
And you go in and you.
Oh, it's like you
clear
did a
it without
Nephilim
dying.
raid. Okay, cool.
You
Right,
go
yeah.
in and like you do it without dying a single time.
Yeah, they basically just put Diablo in fucking.
Yes.
It's just bad because that's making me want to play it.
Whoops.
Yeah, but the problem is like I think Diablo overall is probably Diablo instances are probably funner than a delve.
Yes. Yeah. No, Diablo instances are more fun than delves. I will
Because
certainly.
well, I mean that's the problem, I guess, not problem, but like the core gameplay is designed around those instances rather than delves kind of being like their own like new thing. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm nearly done with delve. I should be done this week.
What?
wait, what?
You're
You're
done?
You're gonna max out on
You have
the
Max Brand?
No, not Bran, but that'll be just a slow
on the
a slow
Delver's
thing.
journey. Like you're almost done.
No, not the Delver's
Oh.
Journey. Basically, I just want to get to finish all the tier 11s and kill Zekvir on the hard thing.
What is
And-
a Zekfir?
I thought you already killed him.
I did it on tier 1. I didn't do it on tier 2.
Oh shit!
What's Zekfir?
Zekvir's like the final boss, is like the challenge
Yeah,
boss.
but what is he?
He's a big old
bug guy.
Yeah, big
Void
tentacle bug
guy.
monster.
Hot.
Yep.
Nice.
But yesterday I got him to 30%, so I think he dies.
So you're progging. You're at 30 now. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I'm learning the
progging-
lingo.
Progging Zekvir is.
I think
Not always
solo
easy.
progging Zekfir is
Yeah.
probably kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
That would
It
probably
is.
be like the most fun I've had in a delve when I get there, but we'll see.
Are they
Yeah,
that
it's actually-
grindy?
Not really. I mean, but the
They're
problem
just
is
kind of
like,
the same.
well, they're kind of the same, but I
Yeah.
think both in our cases, like we have the advantage in that we play classes that can stealth.
Yeah.
Obviously, you
Mm.
cannot progress the delve unless you kill certain enemies.
Yeah.
Or like at least this many enemies. But the fact that we have the option to skip a couple backs here and there is kind of big. I think
see.
like most classes that can't stealth, unfortunately, have to like kill like most things.
I see.
Yeah.
And that's hard, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the tier. Sometimes the enemies can really, really fuck you up. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is the skill level? Do you think like the level difference between like how big is the jump between an 8 and a 10 and a 10 and an 11?
So like 8 is like pretty easily soloable. So I usually can like, if I'm a bear, I can pull probably like 3 or 4 elites at a time,
Hmm.
and it's like not a big deal. The white hits are the real problem in delves.
Yeah.
So they're just like normal auto attacks, basically.
Like
and
empowered auto that you can't interrupt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you just kind of like after 8s, they just kind of become the problem. Like I can, like if I'm bear and I pull like more than 3 enemies in an 11, right? I'm like, there's like a 50% chance I'm dead.
Jesus Christ.
It's like kind of insane. Like, and I don't know, I could just be fucking terrible, but it's like, it's rough. Like
they probably
if-
don't scale with your like class either, right?
Probably not. No, I think they're the same for everybody. So
Damn.
yeah, it's just kind of like it's a little rough. The 11s are hard.
Yeah, because if it like almost one shots you, then it definitely one shots me. So
it doesn't always one shot me. It's just the cumulative damage,
I
right?
see.
I just kind of like run out of defensives, like and like the just like my passive defensive that I get just like by spending rage or whatever isn't enough to like keep my health high enough to get me through the pack. So it's like that's the real problem. Is usually like if you get like 3 enemies and you're like, oh fuck, like hopefully I can live. Like the danger comes at like the end of the pack when like you've already used all your shit and you're just kind of like, oh, like in 10 seconds I can heal, but I'm in big trouble right now.
I see.
I do think that the one fun thing also is other than like challenging like the tougher Zekmir and the reward you get for that is like the purple.
Yeah, it's the purple Zeppelin thing. Yeah, it's actually pretty sick.
Man, I kind
It's
of want a
pretty
purple
cool mount.
Zeppelin.
Yeah, you can do it.
I
It's-
feel like I probably could, but
Yeah.
that would have to involve
Just
playing more
Purple
delves.
Zeppelin?
Yeah. So I can find it. But
Is it like a pocket zeppelin?
No,
Small?
no. Well, it's like a little. Imagine a little plane with like a little like air balloon above it. I
Mhm.
guess like that's like a mount. So a lot of the mounts in this expansion, not a lot, but there's like some of them that are like kind of old plane kind of energy.
Sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a mount that I want to work on, but it's kind of hard.
Oh my god, it's like fucking Corky.
It's extremely purple.
It's purple Corky.
It's purple as
Yeah.
all.
It's sick as fuck.
Like it's just like a overall thing where you can also continue customizing
yes.
your plane as well, right?
Yes.
It's very cool.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. It's not like its own separate mount.
Have you
so
gotten it yet?
No.
He has to kill the guy.
So yeah, I'm at 30%. I got 30 more percent damage to get
Is
him.
it
I think I can do
Guaranteed?
it. Yes, when you kill him, it's guaranteed. Yeah.
It's like fucking farm him forever.
Yeah. It's actually kind of a challenging encounter.
Are there other mounts that he can drop that you can farm?
No.
Like a gold one?
Nope.
No,
Boo.
but there's like cool other mounts you can. There's a lot of like mechs in
Mhm.
this one. There's a mech one that I think I can work on, but it's like kind of it doesn't make sense right now. It's like the one that you have to go to other dungeons and get their trinkets and stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, it's kind of like you get all the trinkets and turn them all in to get the one thing.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like
I don't, but there was something similar.
It just looks like the
Dragonflight.
Stone Vault Loader boss. That guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like it dropped for me in the one time I did the Stone Vault. Like you get like a little thing that you can't equip, and then you have to then go on this mini quest of collecting these trinkets from other places in order to like build it.
Well, you can equip it, right? And you just like take the trinket off when you want to turn it in.
As in,
or-
like it doesn't turn into a mount item for you
Right.
to learn
Yeah.
until you get the trinkets.
until you get all of them. Yeah.
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 But the trinkets are from dungeons that are not in the current M+ rotation.
Oh.
You need one from the Rookery.
And you need the mythic version?
I don't think so.
Okay, you can
But
just do
I
normal.
want to go. That takes time.
Yeah, no, it sucks. It sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck,
Yeah,
but if you
yeah.
really wanted it, you could spam normal.
This is
Right.
true. It's just like I'm trying. I want to prograde, but also like I'm kind of doing what I feel like is like the bare minimum of my weeklies to be able to keep up. It's hard for me to put in more time right now, but
Yeah,
I see.
I
Yeah.
get that.
All right.
Anyway,
anyway.
I
Yeah.
think that was good.
yeah.
See y'all later. And hopefully I'll figure out how to do the constant loading thing next
Yeah.
time.
And
See
I
you
will have
guys.
have
Goodbye.
done a minimum of 5 league games before the next podcast.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
shit.
A minimum. Yep.
Woke.
Yep.
I am awake.
A minimum of 5.
He tells me this is bedtime, but Patrick says league time and I am awake.
Oh shit. Type shit.
All right.